Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you for watching. In the first video I ever made, I talked about how I wanted to do more than just show mountain biking. I wanted to show kind of the rest of my life. And today is going to be part of that. We're going to be doing some RV or camper mods. I showed you one where I took out the microwave. Well, that left the big hole there. And then in here is an outlet. That's where the microwave plugged in. Well, we want to kind of turn this area here into kind of a charging station for electronics, computers, cameras, all that kind of stuff. So today what I'm going to do is rewire the microwave plug. It's on its own breaker. I'm going to rewire it to the outlets so that when we have the inverter on, then we can charge and use that outlet. So it all starts down here at the breaker box. You have the breaker box, the breaker panel, the fuse box. In a camper or an RV, you have both 12 volt and 120, like normal household voltage. So that area here kind of controls all of that. So the first step is going to be getting all of that out so that we can get to the back of it to get to the wiring. If we take a look here at how everything's wired, we have the main breaker here. The second one is the outlets. Then the converter, which this is the converter. It takes 120 and turns it into 12 volt, because in a camper you still need 12 volt even if you're plugged into 120. Then we have the AC, the water heater one, and then the microwave. So we're going to be taking the microwave and moving it over here to outlet so that we can use that one microwave outlet for charging. We're not going to be running much off of it, just chargers here and there, so it's not going to be drawing too much power. What I'm going to do now is get a headlamp, because I'm going to turn off the batteries, turn off all power to the camper, so that when I'm messing with the wires and stuff, I know there's no power coming to them and any chance of messing anything up. Power off, headlight on, here we go. So we have the microwave one here, the outlet one here. Yeah, that's 20, but it was running a microwave. Okay, I'm just gonna be moving it over to here to be running chargers. So it's really tight in here. It was really hard to film. I had to pry and move and be in the way of the camera, so I didn't really catch that. But I do have the wire moved from over here to over here. I need to go turn the batteries back on and give it a test. Just because I got the batteries on doesn't mean I've got 120 volts coming in. So what I've got to do now is flip this switch, which will turn on the inverter, and I've got it all wired up, and I'll show you here. I've got it all wired up so that when you hit this button, you hear that zzz. Well, that comes from, so that zzz noise is coming from this box, which is a relay. When I flipped a switch from the inverter, it switches something in there to make it so that the inverter power doesn't interfere with the converter power, and it makes everything work right. So what I plan on doing is plugging this in up there so that we have 120 and USB charging to be able to charge just about everything that we need. So now I need to find something to plug into here and give it a good test. I ran and got an iPhone charger. I'm going to plug it into the USBs. Then I'll plug it into my phone. You're going to move. And we'll see here if it works. Got to turn the bar on. Okay, didn't work. Time to troubleshoot. So what I'm going to do now is test the power bar in another outlet. Try this one here. Okay, gonna try my watch again. If it works, it'll start showing the charging screen. All right, so that works. The bar works. Now I just need to figure out the outlet part. After some troubleshooting, I figured it out. So when I was telling you about the box that buzzes, what happens is when that box is on, it completely bypasses this. It doesn't, none of the power goes through the breakers. It just goes through the inverter, which I have behind there. So when I took it out of here and put it into this breaker, it works when I'm plugged in, but it doesn't work when I'm running on my inverter, because the inverter doesn't run through the breaker. So what I had to do was take it out of the breaker one and actually put it in. I actually had to put it in with this bundle here, which is where all the outlets are bundled together. So now this outlet is bundled in with all the rest of the outlets, and this works. So, silly mistake, good troubleshooting. I'm glad it worked. I even had to call my dad. He was a little too busy to help me out too much, but I figured it out, which is pretty awesome. The next thing I'm going to be doing is installing these 12-volt USB chargers, and I think I'm going to put these, one of them next to the bed, and then actually one of them next to this outlet. So the first step of wiring up the 12-volt USB chargers is finding 12 volts that I can steal from, and I'm going to be starting under here, under the sink, and that's where the water pump and stuff is, to try to get it to the one on the side of the sink. So the water pump does run off of 12 volts, but I don't really want to steal my 12 volts from there because it's on a switch, and I'd like this 12 volts to be on all the time, whether it's switched on or not. So that's going to be the hard part, is just finding a constant 12 volt that I can steal from that is easy to get. Alright, so I found my 12 volt source. What I did was I took apart that again, got in behind it. I looked at this, found LP detect, radio antenna, 12 volt awning. I knew those would be on all the time. So whether they were switched on or not, there's 12 volt running to that all the time. So then what I did, I came here, figured out what color wire was coming out of the back of that fuse, which was gray, plugged my tester into here, plugged it down there on the ground bus, and I got myself 12 volts. So I'll be just connecting in with that. Should be pretty simple. Run the wires over to where I want them, drill the hole, presto, bango, got myself 12 volt outlet. Pretty stoked about that. I'm going to be putting the USB outlet behind this, which is where the regular like 120 volt outlet is. If you see that white wire there, I'm going to be running it along that, and I've already ran the other parts of it through that hole in the back there, and then it runs down into here, and I've got it just sticking out right here with these wires, and then I'll connect them all. So here I'm just going to be marking out the hole where I'm going to put it, drilling it out. I'm about to plug in the last wire to see if that is going to work or not. So here we go. You'll see before I do. Blue light equals success. Sweet! So now let's test it out. Oh yeah, charging. This area next to the couch slash bed is where I want to put the next USB, somewhere in here. Not sure at all where I'm going to get power for that, so I'm going to start searching. After doing some exploring, looking for a power source for the USB outlet I wanted to put over here, it's just, I don't think it's going to happen before our trip on Friday. We're planning a 2-week trip down into New Mexico, southern Colorado, and I just don't think that I'm going to have the time or the energy or the will to want to run wire there and get that one going. I've got some other projects I'd rather be working on than that one. We have plenty of USPs, we've got plenty of places we can charge stuff, so that one not being there isn't going to kill us. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good one.